The domain of Luo Feng possesses unique characteristics. The domain of gold is one of the most powerful among the 5 elements. All of this is thanks to Bibota's careful guidance and special training, as well as the presence of the Golden Horn Beast. The Golden Horn Beast boasts pinnacle bloodline of the universe, surpassing humanity in strength since its birth. Its domain, awakened automatically upon maturity, aligns perfectly with the domain of gold. When Luo Feng takes over the Golden Horn Beast's body, he inherits its bloodline. However, awakening the domain of gold proves to be exceptionally difficult for him. Thus, Bebeta embarks on special training with Luo Feng, enabling him to possess the domain of gold. The power of the domain of gold allows Luo Feng to manipulate and devour all metals, granting him supreme dominion over metal. Within the domain of gold, all metals fall under Luo Feng's control, and the more metals he devours, the stronger he becomes. The significant difference between the domain of gold and others lies in the fact that while other domain owners require long-term cultivation to enhance their domain power, Luo Feng's domain of gold strengthens simply by continuously devouring metals. This means Luo Feng does not need to endure arduous cultivation, he only needs to keep consuming metal. As the accumulation of metals increases, his domain of gold will gradually improve, rendering him invincible among peers. Since mastering the domain of gold, Luo Feng has never been defeated in battles among his peers. The unique characteristics of the domain allow him to control metal, while most practitioners rely on metal weapons. Therefore, Luo Feng can easily restrain opponents' weapons and even use their weapons against them, thereby winning battles. Especially in the later Universal Genius War, Luo Feng used the domain of gold to defeat numerous, formidable enemies, earning him great fame. Moreover, the domain of gold has a hidden characteristic. While devouring metal, it can also analyze the structure and properties of the metal. This enables Luo Feng to possess exceptional talent and insight in forging and manufacturing metal items. Whether forging weapons or constructing defense facilities, he can optimize designs based on the properties of the metal, resulting in products that are not only durable but also capable of unleashing unimaginable power. Furthermore, the domain of gold subtly changes Luo Feng's body structure. His bones and muscles contain powerful metal elements, greatly enhancing his physical strength. In battles, even without relying on weapons, Luo Feng can contend with opponents of the same level with only his physical strength, or even surpass them. Another magical aspect of the domain of gold is its mysterious connection, allowing Luo Feng to perceive the presence and movement of metal under specific circumstances. This gives him a unique advantage in finding rare metals or tracking the traces of enemies. As Luo Feng's strength continues to grow, his domain of gold also evolves and matures. He begins to integrate the domain of gold with other abilities, creating even more powerful combat techniques. In battles, he can not only manipulate metal but also incorporate the power of metal into his attacks and defenses, diversifying and enhancing his combat style. Luo Feng is truly remarkable. Every appearance of his shines brightly, and every battle he participates in ignites the passion of the audience. After losing to the Lord of Chaos City, Luo Feng did not lose heart. Instead, he became more determined in his path of cultivation. He resolutely went to the outer domain battlefield for training, aiming to temper his strength and will there. As a result, he stirred up quite a stir there. While searching for treasures in the shrine tower, Luo Feng accidentally incurred the wrath of the Purple Bell King, a king of the alien races. The Purple Bell King, along with 2 immortal kings, attempted to plot against Luo Feng. However, Luo Feng was not someone to be trifled with. He directly took out 2 highest-grade fire god crystals and burned the Purple Bell King to death, driving away the 2 King immortals. One of them suffered an even worse fate, being put into a deep sleep by Luo Feng and later awakened as his sole imprint servant. The Purple Bell King, unwilling to accept his demise, attracted over 200 alien kings to come and seek revenge. This caused quite a commotion, as 18 king-level powerhouses sought to encircle Luo Feng and show their dominance. But Luo Feng was not one to be intimidated. He wielded the venomous Shadow Battle Blade, with the blade solidified with demon poisonous liquid. This poison was extremely potent, a single touch could erase immortality. Guess what? Luo Feng slashed those king-level powerhouses like cutting vegetables, one after another. This battle truly brought Luo Feng to the forefront. With his own strength, he scared away over 200 alien kings, proving himself to be a formidable figure. Moreover, Luo Feng's swordsmanship was exquisite, with each stroke condensing into a river of blades that lingered in the air. With a single river of blades, one king-level powerhouse fell. Imagine 13 dazzling rivers of blades hanging in the sky, signifying the demise of 13 king-level powerhouses. The scene was simply too shocking. Later on, when Luo Feng became the lord of the domain, he earned the title of King of Blade Rivers, bestowed upon him by the masses. This was truly a remarkable achievement. From then on, the title of King of Blade Rivers associated with Luo Feng spread throughout the entire universe, making him a legendary figure. In Swallowed Star, having good subordinates can help you with household chores, seize resources, and even guard your home, making them essential for both domestic and travel purposes. However, initially, Luo Feng and his earthly foundation were not deep enough, so his method of building influence was very straightforward, through buying slaves to expand his power. So, how many slaves did Luo Feng have in total? And which slave provided him with the greatest assistance? Luo Feng's first purchase of slaves was when he first arrived in the universe and came to the Chiulong Star. In the slave market, planetary-grade slaves were worthless, stellar-grade slaves were everywhere, and even advanced war gods were considered nothing. Luo Feng was very envious and, for the price of 1.8 million Black Dragon coins, sold the Arc Blade Array and bought 1,016 slaves, including 1,000 planetary-grade 9th-level slaves and 10 stellar-grade 1st-level slaves. Among these slaves were 3 and 7 great spiritual mind teachers from the Black Meng tribe, 3 of each. Luo Feng named the 6 strongest slaves Meng Yi to Meng Lu, with Meng San and Meng Lu being female. Unfortunately, these slaves could not keep up with Luo Feng's growth. When the Tory Wu came knocking on the door, Meng Yi and Meng Er could only send Luo Feng's family into the castle, without the strength to confront the enemy head-on. Luo Feng's second purchase of slaves was during the invasion of the Tory Wu. The Nolan Mountain family sent the Tory Wu, who quietly infiltrated Earth with 80 people and kidnapped Luo Feng's wife, Su Xian, and brother, Luo Hua. Luo Feng contacted the same slave trader and bought 8 stellar-grade 9th-level slaves. With the help of these slaves, Luo Feng didn't hesitate to expose the Golden Horn Beast and wipe out the Tory Wu team. Among these 8 slaves, 2 were quite special. One was Tai Non-He, and the other was Ao Gu. Tai Non-He and Ao Gu provided significant assistance to Luo Feng. Luo Feng and Hong and Lei Shen teamed up to enter the boundary in the boundary, bringing Tai Non-He and Ao Gu with them. They dug up many thunderstone, exchanged them for life fruits and 2 boundary lord weapons. As soon as they left the exchange point, they were targeted by 9 princesses' men, who chased them with 1,000 stellar-grade 9th-level slaves. Luo Feng dared not expose the Golden Horn Beast and could only summon a C9 great spacecraft from his storage space. This kind of spacecraft could withstand attacks from cosmic 5th or 6th level beings. However, they were still some distance away from the spacecraft door, and someone had to stay behind to ensure their escape. Tai Non-He and Ao Gu stayed behind. Tai Non-He was shot into a sieve by a C2 laser gun, while Ao Gu's chest cavity turned into mud all the way down, surviving only with the help of wood element crystals. If it weren't for Tai Non-He's sacrifice, Luo Feng might not have died, but his good friends Hong and Lei Shen would likely have died tragically. This would undoubtedly expose the Golden Horn Beast's trump card and attract even more covetous eyes. The last slave Luo Feng purchased was Feng, a stellar-grade 9th-level cosmic being. The slave trader also advised him to buy an 8th-level cosmic being to prevent Feng from breaking through and killing him. According to the setting of Swallowed Star, when human and mechanical races fight, after integrating the biochip technology, slaves integrated with biochips will be completely controlled. If they resist, they will be killed by a headshot. However, once they break through the domain lord level, they can break free from the chip control. Therefore, the highest level of slaves is the cosmic 9th level. However, Luo Feng was quite confident. His teacher, Hu Yanbo, had 9 immortal slaves, and Luo Feng learned Hu Yanbo's slave soul imprinting technique. After buying Feng, Luo Feng planted a soul imprint on him. Feng was also a capable assistant to Luo Feng. He not only helped Luo Feng defeat Bai Caro, but also taught Luo Hai and Luo Ping. He was a slave that Luo Feng trusted very much, and his talent was also excellent. After Luo Feng piled up resources to elevate him to the domain lord level, he broke through to the domain master level even earlier than the genius by Carol. Unfortunately, when Luo Feng was about to subdue the nest of the worms, ordinary domain masters were no longer of much help to him, so he could only leave them on Earth to protect his family. After that, Luo Feng no longer bought or sold slaves, but controlled soul slaves through secret methods. His second control soul slave was by Carol, the strongest disciple of the Nolan Mountain family. Luo Feng and Feng, intercepted by Carol, who was causing trouble on Earth, defeated him, and then enslaved him using secret methods. Bai Carol's presence was average, and he later joined Feng in guarding the nest of the worms on Earth. Although Hu Yanbo's secret method could control 9 people, Luo Feng did not use the soul imprinting secret method again after enslaving Feng and Bai Carol. Later, Luo Feng exchanged for the 10,000 soul controlling secret method from the Virtual Universe Company, theoretically capable of controlling 10,000 slaves. After practicing this secret method, Luo Feng returned to Earth and subjugated the domain master level nest of the worms left by Hu Yanbo. Before being subjugated by Luo Feng, the worm's nest was guarded by a charming queen named Irina. Of course, there were no difficulties encountered. Irina became Luo Feng's soul slave. The worm queen Irina was quite powerful. Before being subdued by Luo Feng, she had already helped him a lot. The Nolan Mountain family did not use its full strength several times when invading Earth, and Nolan Mountain itself did not dare to come to Earth, all fearing a toxic sphere on Earth, which was the worm's nest. With the deterrence of the nest, Luo Feng was able to develop on Earth. After Luo Feng subjugated the worm queen, he also created a million-powerful worm army, which also helped him escape the pursuit of the immortal Trika of the mechanical race. In the outer domain battlefield, Luo Feng received the title of King of Blade Rivers, subdued the soul slave Heavy Arrow King, was sneak attacked by his companion Tianzhen Wang, but fortunately turned disaster into fortune and recognized the Star Tower as its master. In order to avenge Tianzhen Wang, Luo Feng subjugated 8 immortal peak-level slaves, such as Refining Heart King, Shocking Weight King, Iron Flag King, etc., eventually gathering 10 peak-level king-level immortal slaves. At the end of the novel, in order to deal with the crisis brought to the primitive universe by the army of the domain beasts, Luo Feng used the 3-star realm enslavement method to enslave the domain beast Malossa. After becoming the lord of the universe, he reversed time and resurrected his teacher Hianbo. Bo Beitou also chose to follow Hianbo again. Of course, as the protagonist continued to grow stronger, he was destined to be lonely. But it was precisely this loneliness that forged his determination to reach the pinnacle of the universe.